Brand new polls out today, and nobody's talking about it, not even over on the publication that actually printed the polls and did all the research and came up with them. That would be the New York Times. So New York Times Siena came out with some new polls today, and I'll tell you, it's amazing. Like, if it had been reversed and Kamala was killing it, I'm telling you, I would have seen this poll everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely everywhere. But in today's case, nope, nowhere. Couldn't find it, had to go looking for it. So let me share with you the results. Here we are with the New York Times Siena poll. Take a peek at that. It turns out Kamala may not have done as well as she thought she was doing in some critical SUNBELT states. We're talking Arizona, we're talking Georgia, we're talking North Carolina. Donald Trump up 5. You know, Harris had been doing well. She had been up 5 herself. But take a peek, Donald Trump now up 5. Incredible. Polling average overall showing Donald Trump up 2. But among likely voters in Arizona, up 5. Going over to Georgia for a moment. Donald Trump maintaining his lead, very solid lead in the state of Georgia. Georgia and Arizona were 2 states that he lost by pretty thin margins last time around to Joe Biden. So the question is, does he reverse that this time? And judging by these polls, it's looking like he will. And then you go over to North Carolina, and he's up 3 there in North Carolina. So it's a little bit of a dead even heat, nonetheless, still in North Carolina, and some of these numbers are still within the margin of error. So North Carolina is still a little bit dicier, and then you get that situation with the governor, and then you have to ask yourself, okay, well, does it really matter? Because are people voting for the governor, or are they voting for Trump? One of the interesting things about Trump is he tends to generate a lot of appeal just for him, or a lot of dislike, right? It's like high beta stock, high beta politician. You love him or you hate him. But how much does it matter who else is on the ticket, the down ticket, right? Does it? I actually don't think it does. Normally it would, but this is a very unique and specific situation because you're talking about a very unique and specific personality in Donald Trump. So North Carolina, whether the Robinson thing hits him, I suspect it actually won't be as big an impact as some are suggesting. But this is just incredible to see. So again, these are killer important states. You need these states. He also could use Pennsylvania or Michigan or one of those alongside it. Let's take a look over here. If you look at Trump versus Harris, inside advantage out of Michigan had Donald Trump ahead. And this is a recent poll from a couple of weeks ago. All of the polls up until one that just came out today, and it's, I wouldn't necessarily say a high quality poll. All of the polls out of Pennsylvania have shown his lead in Pennsylvania because, you know what? I think a lot of people just kind of relate to him better and trust him on things like the economy. In fact, that was one of the #1 things that they found in the New York Times Siena poll is that voters do trust him, certainly in these Sunbelt places, more so on the economy. And it makes all the sense in the world, given where we are economically speaking, given this striking amount of inflation that has happened under Kamala and Biden's watch.